East Carolina is at Cincinnati Friday night. Cincinnati a 5-point favorite. Sneaky big game in the AAC.
Mm-hmm.
Also Friday night, Colorado is at USC. USC somehow a 34-point favorite, which is a big line for the way they've been playing, but Colorado sucks, so maybe it makes sense.
They're god awful. Yep.
Saturday, Oklahoma is at West Virginia. Oklahoma an 8-point favorite there. Purdue is at Illinois. Illinois a 6.5-point favorite. Big for the division, even though it feels like Illinois pretty clearly has a leg up. Notre Dame plays Navy in Baltimore. Notre Dame a 17-point favorite. Interesting just to see how they bounce back after a huge emotional game against Clemson.
And spoiler alert, take Navy in this. Navy to cover the 17. Yeah, ball control, Navy, 17.
That might be smart. Also, probably take the under. I don't know what the line is at, the total.
42. It's at 42. It's not very high.
That's pretty low.
That's really low.
Oh, man. Okay, maybe don't take the under, but at least think about it. LSU is at Arkansas. LSU a 3-point favorite. We should talk about this one a little bit. This one's fun.
This one's scary. This one's making my top 5 games to watch. LSU controls their own destiny in the playoffs.
Yes.
For the playoff chance right now. They went out. They're in the playoff because you would have beat Alabama and Georgia and you would have won the SEC. I don't care if you have 2 losses, 1 to Tennessee and 1 to FSU. I don't care. They're getting in, but they have to beat Arkansas. They have to win this football game. Vegas doesn't think there's much difference between these two teams. They think this is a close game. I think this is must watch. I think this is going to be really, really fun.
That line is kind of stinky, huh?
Yes. Yeah. You can smell that one a while away. Two running quarterbacks. I love that type of offense. This is going to be a good time.
Sure. All right. UCF is at Tulane. Tulane a 2-point favorite. This game might be the game to determine who wins the AAC and also possibly goes to a New Year's Six bowl game. Yeah, it remains depending on what you're watching Saturday, you may or may not have time to watch this. I'm just putting a plug out there. This could be a pretty fun game. Any thoughts on this game, Ashton?
Not really. Like, I'm going to watch. You're right. Tulane, they could make. I mean, there's a lot of buzz about them making like a New Year's Six bowl kind of as the top group of 5 team. I guess. Like, it's home for them. Like, great. We thought, I like their quarterback. Like their quarterback is consistently playing really well. Is it Pratt? He always just really pops off. I don't know. I don't think they're not on the same level. They're not what Cincinnati was a year ago or even 2 years ago. Like, they're not on that level as far as a group of 5 team, obviously. But yeah, sneaky good game. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I really wanted to make it one of my 5 to watch. I ended up maybe having them at the 6th game to watch of the week.
Okay.
So. All right, Louisville is at Clemson. Clemson a 7-point favorite coming off the loss to Notre Dame. Louisville coming off a stretch where they've played really well. What do you expect out of this game?
I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. James Madison's a pretty good football team. They beat them by 3 scores. Wake Forest, pretty good football team. Louisville beat them the week before by 3 scores. They've hammered people. Like, they haven't played a close game since the 1-point loss to Boston College. What? Like none of it made sense to me. So yeah, you're scared of Louisville. Louisville's 6-3. Louisville's a pretty good football team. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be very close. I'm just going to leave that there. I don't think, 7 points feels like a pretty good line. I'm not going either side of it.
All right. Wisconsin is at Iowa. Probably would have been this we would have thought this was probably a game for the division in the preseason. Wisconsin a 1.5-point favorite. Iowa's playing a little bit better the last couple weeks. We'll see. This might be the check it during commercials type of game, or you might want to just never look at this game because it could be very ugly.
Guess the over-under on this, Spence. Guess the over-under without looking. Guess it. I just want to guess. Come on.
Dude. Can it be lower than 40?
It's 35.5.
Oh, my goodness.
Take the under.
Oh, do not watch this. I will not be watching.
Me neither.
All right, Iowa State is at Oklahoma State. Iowa State a 1-point favorite. Oklahoma State kind of in a free fall right now.
Yeah, 1-point favorite. That didn't make sense to me. On the road, what? Oklahoma State still they were ranked. I know they've had a bad stretch here, but Iowa State's 4-5. They're almost last in the Big 12. they're a favorite. Road favorite didn't make sense.
Yeah, maybe this is the game to check during commercials in the 3:30 window, just because maybe there will actually be offense in this game, unlike Wisconsin, Iowa.
Possibly.
Okay, the big game of the 3:30 window is Alabama at Ole Miss. This is this is a fun game. I don't know, is it more or less fun now that Alabama has lost 2 games?
More fun for me. Yeah, more fun for me, and more fun for the casual viewer. Ole Miss, if they beat Alabama, all they need is a small slip up, and then they could also be a playoff team. Alabama losing opened the door for a couple of other teams to kind of slip in there. Kind of a sneaky. This is Ole Miss sneaky right now. 8-1, only lost to LSU. Just kind of sitting in the weeds there. Ole Miss needs this game, but I'm not betting against Alabama off a loss. Are you kidding? Practice is not fun in Tuscaloosa this week. It is not fun. So yeah, I think I'd be taking Alabama, whatever the number is. I don't even care.
Yeah, Alabama's favored by 11.5. I actually think that Ole Miss, and it pains me to say this a little bit because I like Ole Miss. I was high on them in the preseason. I kind of think they're a little bit overrated. I think they're not quite as good as their record would indicate for an SEC West team. And it's hard for me to say that just because, I like Ole Miss. I want them to be good. I feel like maybe they're not great. I guess what I'm calling. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Nebraska is at Michigan. Michigan a 29-point favorite. Any chance at all that there's some kind of banana peel game here at all? Not really.
No,
Okay.
No chance.
I didn't think so either. All right, South Carolina is at Florida. Florida an 8-point favorite. Big game for both programs. Not nationally relevant by any means, but this is both coaches. It feels like they need this type of game. This is not the type of game you want to lose if you're either one of these programs.
Yeah, this is a game that when you look at the records at the end of the season, these are the 50-50 games that you really, really need to go from 6-6 to 8-4. 8-4 feels way different than 6-6. If you're 8-4, you're just a couple of games away from being really good. But you're 6-6, you're just a couple of games away from getting fired. So really big for both of these coaches. Tone setter. This is a tone setter in the Southeast. These little kind of under the radar games. Florida favored by 8.5. Vegas does not want you getting Florida for free. I think Florida's the side here. I think Florida wins. I think Florida wins by a couple scores.
Yeah, I think South Carolina might actually be bad.
Okay.
All right, Washington is at Oregon. Oregon a 13.5-point favorite. Big game for Oregon. They control their destiny in the Pac-12, and you could argue for the playoff. You could argue that.
Okay.
I think that they'll need some help, but help always comes. There's still a number of weeks left in this season. There will be attrition. If Oregon wins out, I think they have a good chance of making the playoff. I won't say they control their own destiny. I'll walk back that one a little bit. But it starts here. They have to take care of business against Washington, who's shown that they can be really good at times this year and also has wet the bed a few times.
Bo Nix right now is a Heisman contender, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. There's no – even if he's really good, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's bad. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I'm not betting on Bo Nix. I don't do that. I've learned. So, no, watch this game, entertainment purposes only. Keep your money off of it. Both of these quarterbacks can absolutely go and put up a lot of yards. Penix on one side, Nix on the other. They don't throw many picks. They throw a lot of touchdowns. This could be a shootout here.
Sure. All right, Georgia is at Mississippi State, a 16.5-point favorite. Any letdown as far as just keeping it, is there any chance Mississippi State keeps it close here, or is Georgia just they flip the switch in the season now and they're just going to sit on everybody?
There is a chance, possibility. There's a possibility. I will say I don't think the defense gives up many points, man. I think the defense travels. Defense really does travel. You get a little bit of pressure. Suddenly Will Rogers does not look like the same quarterback anymore. I think Georgia physically is the better football team. I think they win. I think it's maybe a little lower scoring, a little ugly for a while. But, I don't think Mississippi State puts up many points on that defense.
Yeah. All right, Kansas is at Texas Tech. Texas Tech actually a 4-point favorite here. It's on ESPN Plus, which is unfortunate because I feel like this would just be a fun this would be a nice piece of candy. This is a fun Big 12 game that unfortunately nobody will watch.
You know who's favored here?
Texas Tech
by 4 points.
Yeah.
Does that make Texas Tech is 4-5, Kansas is 6-3. Make it make sense for me, Vince. Make it make sense.
I can't, other than Vegas just knows. So
yeah, they do.
Probably it would be smart to bet on Texas Tech.
Correct.
All right, Kansas State is at Baylor, keeping it the Big 12 here. Baylor a 3-point favorite against Kansas State. They've been playing a little better as of late. Not sure what Kansas State is. Do you have any leans here, or is this just one of those where you just stay away?
Stay away. Yep, stay away. Again, Big 12, we don't know. 6-3 team versus 6-3 team. You're not sure. This game could go. No outcome should surprise you. This could be a blowout either side, and you should not be surprised when you look at the final score.
Absolutely. All right. North Carolina is at Wake Forest. A good matchup in the ACC. Pretty important for North Carolina, especially. Wake Forest season has kind of spiraled a little bit out of control. Not to horror levels, but not what they thought they could be. North Carolina still has, I mean, they got everything in front of them. If you want to
playoff.
There's like a non-zero chance that they could do it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I didn't say that. I did not say playoff. But they could. They could go to the playoff. Only loss to Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Yeah. Beat Miami.
That all said,
Virginia. They could. They really could.
Wake Forest is favored in this game by 3.5 points. Tell me why.
Because Vegas again knows we're dealing with almighty Vegas. The side to be on is Wake Forest. Like you're foolish if you're pulling the North Carolina does not have a great defense. We're okay with saying that. We can say that liberally, right?
Yep.
Wake Forest has a pretty good offense. We're okay with saying that. A.T. Perry's a good receiver. Hartman, when he doesn't throw picks all the time, is a really good quarterback. First to 40 wins, something like that.
That's what the total would have you believe. The over under is 76.5.
Yes.
Which is just a crazy high number. And I feel like we should take the under on principle. That being said, I could very easily see it going over.
Leave this one alone. Yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah. All right. Huge game of the evening on ABC. TCU is at Texas. Like we mentioned, Texas is a touchdown favorite here. TCU's undefeated. They find a way to win, like all of that. Texas looking good last week.
Yeah.
Favored by 7.
7 points.
What are your thoughts?
We'll get into locks here in a little bit, but I have movement on this game. We'll cover it in the locks for me. That's all I'm confident with. I don't have much this week. Like I said, there's some weeks where I feel confident. This week, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to be very okay with saying I don't know. So I'm going to have very few locks, like 1 or 2 max. 2 is max. I might just stay at 1. So when we get into that, I'll cover this game. I'll just leave it for then.
Sure. Okay. One final game we should just talk about just a tiny bit, or at least mention. Florida State is at Syracuse. Florida State is 6.5 point favorite. Syracuse kind of in a free fall. Florida State turning it like it's becoming a good season for them. Legitimately so.
If we talked about beating Syracuse, you beat Syracuse, you beat Florida to end the year. It's a good year. 9-3 still on the table for Florida State. 9-3 in that state going into a year where, coming into the year, you would have taken 9-3 all day long. Florida State is rolling right now. Good for them. Yeah,
their win total in the season was 7.5. We both took the under, and we mostly did it because we just felt like the schedule was going to be too difficult.
Right.
Turns out they've said, well, screw that. We're better than our schedule, and they're looking good.